Hello and welcome back to day number 21 off 100 days of code. This is insane. We have been smashing out videos and getting people are just supporting this so much, and I've really appreciated it. I jumped into a random Discord chat. I was just looking to meet new people and stuff, and people already knew who I was. Like, if you guys are those people, you guys are amazing. Like, that is insane. I never expected that at all. That made my day. But anyway, back to where we were. So as you've seen, you might see something different about the site. For starters, the navigation is on the left, and the reason the navigation is on the left is this what we're going to do in this video. Also, if you scroll, as you go into new sections, new coloured sections, the actual navbar changes colour with the scroll, which is something cool. Next up, and then this is the about page. So if we go back up to the top and we hit about, as you see, it like drags you there. That's just simple links. That's just an anchor tag, but we're going to get that to do a smooth scroll down to the next section. And not only that, we are also going to do this little hello about me section. And I'm not sure, there's not much content. I don't have much content yet written out, so again, this is all due to change in the final draft, but for now I'm going to show you how to do these basic stuff, and you'll be able to also do this cool little changing colour navigation system, which is really cool. So we changed it from being down at the bottom here and then swapping up to also going down. Other things we're going to change is we are going to, on mobile, put the slanted background back in, just because it works with like this like little different section area, which I find really good. Also, that is really big compared to the Tyler Potts. We'll probably go change that too, just to make sure it's not bigger than the title. But otherwise, I think it's looking good, and let's crack on. Okay, guys, welcome back. We are back to where we last left off with this, just the landing page. As you see, it's all back to normal with the navbar at the bottom. We've opened up our VSCode, our text editor, with the files, and we've also started a surfer using surf. We showed this off in the last video, so if you wonder what this is, go check it out in the last video if you haven't already seen it. And we've also got a koala running here. We're going to remove day 20, but we are going to drop in. Oh, let me get it from down here. We're going to drop in day 21 because, you know, we want to use this. We want to make sure this isn't compiling on its own, and same with that, because we only want this to compile. We also want to change the output path to CSS main. Oh, that's not. Oh, here it is. Main.css, and we're going to hit save and replace. Awesome. So now that is going to compile into the right file. I'm sorry if I keep umming. It's a habit and it's very annoying. I know it annoys me too. Okay, so the first thing we're going to work on is actually the navbar. So the navbar, obviously, in the new version is on the left, and it isn't down here. It's a bit bigger and it looks a lot better. This navbar was kind of lame, and I don't know what I was going to do with it down there when I started scrolling. Maybe I was going to snap it to the top, or I don't know. I don't know what I was going to do with it. But now I know what I'm going to do with it. So let's start that. So first things first, if we go into our code, let's zoom this up. I've learned from last time. And let's hide that. We are going to move the navbar out of the header, because it's going to be a fixed element to the body, and we're going to pull it up here, just above just above the header tag. We're also going to add in here about about's the only one we need for now, because that's the only one we're going to have in. The only reason I'm doing that is so we can click it to quickly shoot down to the about section once we create it. And that is a good point. Down here we will set up our first section, which is going to be section with the ID of, the class of section. You'll know why I'm doing the class of section in a moment. We're going to set up the ID of about, and we're going to say, well, that's good. And then here we're going to say data color is equal to light, because what we're saying here is we want the text to turn light color when it lands in this section. So over here it's going to start dark, and then when we scroll down, it's going to be, this is going to enter a dark section where it needs to turn light. Okay. So if we drop that down and we say h2.heading, we're going to write in here about, we're also going to put a content section in there, and we're going to say a p tag with, I've got a bit of text here, we're going to copy and paste in from my old website, and I've also added some strong tags around it because we're going to use these strong tags to what are you doing? Sorry, my machine has just, the only annoying thing about this, it's not going to stop, is it? It's not going to stop. The only annoying thing about Prettier is it drops things onto new lines when you don't want it to. So that is it. If we go over and we refresh, actually our navbar is now broken up there, and this stuff is all down here. And you can see the stuff we're going to highlight when we actually come to it. So we have to actually change something up quickly. So if we go back, if we now go into our assets and our Sass, and we open up main. Go away, main CSS files. You guys annoy me. And we open up our Sass file. We need to set up the section. So I created a class called section, and we're going to write here section, and we're going to take the code from here, from head, and we're going to move it into section. We're also going to go back to the HTML, and on our header we're going to add a class of section 2. And I feel like we don't need header no more. We're actually going to remove header, and we're going to go down here and change that to header. The only reason is because it's a unique element. We're not going to create enough a header. It's the fact that .section now covers the class side of things. If we go, so next up we want to, so we've got this section, but now we've got two sections, remember. Now if we refresh and we scroll down, it's kind of not how we wanted it to be. And I'll tell you why soon, but first we want to go and env child odd, and we're going to say, we're going to copy this background, and we're going to say to top left instead. And if we refresh and we scroll down, as you can see now it's got that direct, so it's like following on, this black follows on, which I like. There's this like line here is coming from the about because it's got some margin on it, but we will fix that soon. First we're going to fix this navbar now. So first things, to fix the navbar, we want to scroll down to where we have our navbar in our code, and we're going to remove the navbar altogether. We're going to highlight it, and we're going to cut the code out, and we're going to bring this right to the top, and above section, above or below, yeah, above section, we're going to paste it back in. But we also want to scroll back up, and we don't need this no more, but we will need to say position absolute or fixed, sorry, because we want it to be fixed to the page. We want to say left, oh sorry, pardon me, we want to say left 30 pixels, and we also want to say top 50%. We don't want to say transform translate y minus 50%, and the reason we're using transform is because 50% is doing it from the top of navbar, which means it's going to be wrong, which we don't want. We also want to change, we want to take this flex direction out of there, and we want to pull it under there because we want it to always be there. We want column, and then we want to say align items flex start, and we don't maybe we do. And we also want to say C index 9999, so it's above all our elements. And now if we refresh, it's there. There we go. It's nice. It's there. That's good. It's a good start. But as you can see, it looks kind of bad. It's on the white. We're going to change the color for this. So the nav link, we're going to say it's going to be dark to start with, because we always know it's going to land where it lands. We're going to remove this primary color. We don't actually want that. We want it to just go. We just want a border to come underneath. We're also going to say, I think this go fix it, box sizing, border box. Now if we refresh and I hover over this, there we go, nicely done. So that's that. Now we also want to say font size equal to 28 pixels, 29. Jesus, it's way too big. We want to say text decoration none, and we want to say text align. Oh, we don't need a text align, do we? Because it's already right. There we go, so now that is up there. But now when we scroll down into the black, it disappears because it's obviously going into a black background, the same color as the actual text, which isn't good. We will fix that in a second, but first let's fix this this annoying white line which is bugging me. So I hope you understand what we've done there. So basically what we've done is we've displayed it as a fixed element, and fixed elements basically say it's fixed to the viewport, or fixed elements go fixed to the viewport, which means wherever you scroll, if you set like left 50%, it would be like over here. If you said top 50%, it would be like center, and over here, so it would be dead in the middle, or the top left of it would be dead in the middle, because again it anchors from the top left. And look, if we hit that anchor, it also drags us down here, but again we still cannot see our thing. But let's fix down here. So if we go down here and we go down to the bottom, we say ID of about, we're going to say display grid, we're going to go grid template columns, and we're going to say 1 fraction, 3 fractions, and 1 fraction. So this saying create a grid with 1 fraction, 3 fractions, and 1 fraction. So it's like a percentage, but instead you're using fractions. So this will add up to 100%, whatever you put in here. And now it will say 3 columns. The first one will be 1 fraction, the second one will be 3 fractions off the screen, and the last one will be another 1 fraction. We're also going to copy that exact one. We're going to change this to rows. And then in dot heading, which is our h2 tag, we'll say color is equal to primary, font size equal to 72 pixels. Our font weight is 900, and our text align is center. Text transform, uppercase, because we want it to be block capitals. And then we'll say grid column, and we're going to move it to 2, which spans over 3. And we're going to add a margin of 30, or margin 30 pixels, and we'll set the rest to 0. Good, okay, that feels like that's good for that now. So if we refresh our page, boom, there it is. That is all set out. And now it looks a bit better. Now we can actually see seamlessly without having a white line in between. We are going to change the color of this. And to do that, we're going to need some JavaScript. But first, we need to go up to, scroll. I was trying to scroll and I was like, why is it not scrolling? It's because my cursor was on a different screen. We need to go up to nav link, and we've got to say, under hover, we're going to say and.light, and we're going to say, actually, maybe that should be above hover. Say and light, and we're going to say color, light, or actually maybe it should be under now. I'm looking at this. It definitely should be under. We're going to say border, bottom 2 pixels, solid, light, and we're going to move this above the other hover because we don't want that one to cancel our light hover. So that if it's now got a class of light, this color will be white. So we need to now, when we scroll into this dark area, this section, we want it to swap the colors to be equal to the light. And we're going to do it one by one for each element. So we're going to have to open up our JavaScript. So in JS, we go to main.js. And in here, we're going to need to get something. So we are going to need, underneath navbar, we're going to say const navbar items. Sorry for my naming, I'm not good at naming. Again, I will edit all this when it's done to probably update it to some better naming. And we're going to say navbar link, double underscore. So we're going to get all the navbars. We're going to say const sections is equal to, so this is why we wanted to add a class of section. And we're going to say get element by class name, and we're going to say section. So that's good. So now we want to create a function, and we're going to call this function menu color changer. Changer. And we're going to say, so now we've got that, we want to say log here, and we're going to say log change color, and we want to add this function to a event listener. We're going to say document dot add event listener scroll, and we're going to say menu change color changer. So now if we go back to our code, we open up our terminal, we open our console and we refresh the page and we start scrolling, as you can see, it says change color, which is good. So it's going to change. It's going to be looking to see when we get into this section, we can change the color. So to do that, we need to loop through every. We have to do a double loop, and I hate doing this, but it's the only way I can think of doing it right now. If you guys can think of a better way to do this, let me know. We're going to use a for off. So we're going to say for, and we're going to say let section off section. So for a section off sections, we're going to say let SB. This stands for section boundaries, and we're going to say is equal to section.get bounding client rect. And what this does is will return a object of different variables or different values, and I'll show you what these values are now. So if we save that and we again open up the console and we refresh and we start scrolling, we get this. So this is what's returning to us. It's returning to us, so each section will get one of these, and it will say bottom is equal to 2. So the bottom of the rectangle, so the bottom of the section is at 2207 pixels on the page. Height is at 1123. Left is equal to 0 because it will be stuck to the left. Top is equal to 1084, and width is equal to 1419. And I'm guessing this one is for, so you can see this one is probably for header, and this one's going to be for our upper one. And we got the Y position too. So basically we're going to use that to compare it to where the item is in the array. And to do that, we're going to say for, again, we're doing another for loop in the loop, which isn't the best practice. It does take a toll on your performance, but it's the only way I can think of doing it right now. But we're going to say for let item of navbar items, and then we're going to say let IB, which stands for item boundaries, and we're going to say get bounding client rect. And now we're doing an if statement saying if the items y is more than or equal to section.dataset. No, wait, what am I saying? Sorry, that's later on. It's actually, we need sb.y. So if it's more than, actually we're going to say if it's more than, because we don't want it to be equal to, because I want it to be once you get over the line and not when we get there, it will set this. And then we've got to say and ib.y plus ib.height. So we'll say, So we're saying get the items y and add the items height to it, and we're saying if that is less than sb.y plus sb.height. And basically what this is saying is get the bottom of sb.y and sb.height and check this is still inside of it. So this whole thing here checks if the item is inside of the section. So we're just using the y value of this to do that, and the height. And now we're going to say let color equal section.dataset.color. So not that, .dataset. So what dataset does, we've done this previously, but I'm going to explain it again. So dataset, so as you saw here, we added a data-color to the section, and we also need to add one to the header. So we're going to say data color is equal to dark, because we want to change the color to a dark when it gets in this section. And we want to change to light, because if we go in here, this side is a light color, so we want to set the texture dark, and this is a dark color, so we want to set it to light. And basically we're going to call section. So for that section, we're going to check its data set of color, and we're going to set it to this variable. We're then going to create a switch statement. I'm not sure if we've done switch statements before, but what a switch statement is kind of like an if, but it's a key and a value. So you would put in here the color, so the variable color, and then we're going to check if it's equal to light. Then if it's equal to light, we're going to do inside these case and break tags. And what the case and break tags do is the case check is checking if light is equal to color, and the break tag stops the color. So if this matches, it stops it from continuing on and doing the rest of the code. and checking for the rest of them. So we're going to say case light, and we're going to say item.classList.add, and we're going to say light. And then we're going to create another case. So this is how you can create multiple cases in these. And we're going to say dark, and then we're going to break it so it doesn't continue on. We don't need this default for now. And we're going to say, oh god damn it, the auto format is really annoying. Item.classList.add, or no, .remove, and we're going to say light. So by the time you get to here, we're going to check if it's if we're in the dark zone, we're going to remove the light, so we're going to set the text back to its original, and we're going to add the class of light if we're inside a light section. And that is it. That is it for that code. So if we go back now and we refresh and we scroll, nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? Here we go. Get bounding client rect is not defined. Okay guys, just notice we forgot to do item.getBounding client rect, and that is why we got the error. So if we refresh, and well, it already did there, so it spoiled it. But actually now as we scroll, each one as it enters, just over when it enters, it changes the color to light. And I have just realized that we actually do need to do it equal to, because we want to make sure it definitely is, we want to make sure it changes as soon as it gets in there. So that changed a bit quicker, not super quicker, but it does change quicker, which is good. So now we change as we go in. Each element will change as it goes into the section when it's further enough. So now if we hit about, boom. Okay, so next up we're going to move this text inside a bubble. To do that, we're going to close that quickly. We're going to use the grid. So if we go back to our Sass now, and in our about section, we're going to write a few things, and we're going to start by doing content. And inside of content, we're going to say grid grid columns, or column. We're going to say span over 2 and 3. We're going to say grid row span over 2 and 3. Oh, pardon me. And then we're going to say width of 400 pixels, height of 400 pixels. We are then going to say border radius of 50%, make it a circle, and then we're going to say padding of 50 pixels. And then we're going to say background is equal to dark, and justify self center, and then we're going to say align. Oh, that's align self center. We're also going to change the position to relatives, because we also want to basically move a few bubbles around once we've done that. And inside of this, we're going to say P, and we're going to change the start for P. We're going to say color is equal to light, font size equal to 20 pixels, font weight 100, and text align, we're going to say justify, because we want it to be like squared out over it. And then we're also going to say strong. So strong inside the P, we're going to say color is equal to primary, and the font weight is equal to 700. And we actually have to add in 700 to our CSS, because we didn't add it in. It makes it slightly longer to load, but we're going to add a preloader nearer to the end of this so we can use it. So now if we refresh, there we are. It's now in there. That looks darker from what it should be. Why is it? It is computed. What is your font weight? 700. So no, that is correct. Text align, justify. Nice. We actually do need to now justify that central. So we need to just before the relative, we're going to say display flex, justify content center, align item center, and that should now fix that issue for us. Boom, there we are. So now it works. It sits in there perfectly. So that's cool. That would work as it is, but we want to create some bubbles. I don't know, actually. Now I look at it, it kind of looks good without the bubbles, but I feel like the bubbles add a little bit more depth. So well, I'm going to show you how to do the bubbles, but I think I'm not going to have them in my final draft. So in here, we're going to say dot bubble times 4. And that's all. We don't want to do anything else. We just want those bubbles. So now in here, we're going to say above the P, or actually no, under the P. We're going to say dot bubble, and we're going to say background is equal to dark, border radius 50%. And now we're going to use the nth child property, or nth child selector, to go number 2, so the second child, which is this bubble, because the first child is the P tag. We're going to say position. Actually, no, we actually want to put position in here. Position absolute. And we're going to say, no, we're not going to say that now. So we're going to say width of 80 pixels, height of 80 pixels, left by 30%, bottom, so we want to put to the bottom of this block, and we're going to say 0%, we're going to say transform, translate Y, and we're going to say 40%, because we're trying to move it 40% above the pardon me, path to elements. Now if we refresh, boom, we've got it right there. So now it sits on the edge like a little bubble popping out of another bubble. We're now going to copy this and paste it and we're going to change the nth child to 3. It's going to be slightly smaller because we don't want them all the same size. We're actually going to say left is still equal to 30%, but bottom is equal to -10. And we're going to translate by 120%. And now if we save and we refresh, boom, we've got a little bubble down there. That works out nicely. And so on and so forth. So we're going to copy another one. I'm going to say 4. I'm going to set that one to maybe 100 by 100 pixels. I'm going to set left to 100%. We'll change bottom to top, and we're going to say 60%. I'm going to transform 50% on the x-axis this time, or -50 shall I say. And now if we refresh, we got another bubble coming out of the side there slightly. And then we're also going to do one more, because we do have one more. I'm going to say the 5th, we're going to say 50 pixels, 50 pixels. Left is going to be 110. Top is going to be 60%, and this is going to be just 50%. Now we save and we refresh. There we go. So it's going off in kind of cool, odd, bubbly directions. Going off that way, that one's going that way. You could do loads more. You could do different things. You could add more shapes in around. But for now, that is all which is going to be for me for that section, because that is kind of tedious to do those bubbles. Alright, so now they are done. We want to add in some responsive queries. So if we press here and we go to mobile responsive mode, let's get the iPad to start with. So the iPad, see the left, this are too big. That needs to shrink down the menu. So if we go up to our navbar, where is it? It's at the top here, navbar, and we say where we've got our media query for this, we're going to say, we're actually going to change that to an 8 because we want it to be underneath, anything underneath 768, and we're going to keep everything here, I think. Pardon me, excuse me. We're going to remove top 0 pixels. We're going to keep left 100 VW, but we're going to add in, yeah, we're going to say align items flex end, and then justify content center. And we've already got the transition in there, that's good. FECL seems good. Active is still fine how it is. We're going to go in here though, we're going to say link or navbar link, and we're going to say color is equal to light, because we want to make sure it's light now for when we change. And we're going to say font size is equal to 20 pixels, because we want to shrink it down. It's too big at the minute. Well, sorry, that's not even too big, that's just for when we've got it on mobile. We're also going to add another media query in here then, and it's going to be media screen and max width of 860 pixels. And we're just going to say left of 15 pixels, and the navbar link we're going to say font size 24 pixels. Now if we go back and we refresh, when it actually loads, is that loaded? Is that right? Is that how it should look? I don't think it is. Where's not? Oh, a navbar link is underneath it, and that is overwriting it. We want to move our navbar link above the media queries. Sorry, I missed you. I can't believe I did that wrong. Boom, so now that is slightly smaller and over to the left, so it's not taking up too much room where it doesn't need to be, and it works over in this bit section too. Okay, good. So now that's good, but now we need to, we need to actually see what it looks like now on iPhone. And if we click here, hello, where's my menu gone? There it is. And we about projects, YouTube, games, contact, and blog. That's all good. It looks good. It sits there normally, and we'll add our social media links over here again in the future. Okay. So this is now an obvious issue. So we've got to go down to. Well, actually, what's this look like on iPad for this section? It looks fine, right? That's not too bad. Or is it? How is the... It's the same size as that font there. I feel like this needs to be smaller now. So if we go down to that section in the code, about, and we're going to say heading, say at media, screen, and max width, 860 pixels. At 860, we'll say font size, and we'll set it down to 60 pixels. So if we go back and we refresh, yeah, that feels a bit better. Yeah, I like that. So we've got that, and about looks nice. Yes, I like that. That font is nice. We'll go and media, screen, and max width 768 pixels. So now once it gets under an iPad size, we're going to say font size, and we're going to say 48 pixels. I feel that will work. So if we go down to the iPhone X, hey, it has shrunk. It's a bit off center, but I think that'll fix once we update this this box down here. So let's go down to it, and we're going to say, for starters, we're going to say in here, do we go to the bottom? Yeah, we'll do it here. Let's say at media, screen, and max width 768 pixels. We're going to say grid column 1 to 4. Oh, hello. Grid column 1 to 4, and then grid. No, that's fine. That's fine. That works there. And we're also going to set the width to be 250 pixels. Height, maybe, I don't know, and then the padding to go down to 25 pixels or 30 pixels. Now if we refresh, oh no, that's too small. That's too small. But to be fair, we do need to shrink our text too. So if we copy the same media query and pull it in our text, and we say font size 16 pixels, Maybe 18. I feel that is too small to be 16. Okay, kind of. I feel like the padding needs to be there again now, so maybe if we say 40 pixels. Guess that works there. So now that is looking a bit better. But if we were on a smaller phone like the 320 pixel phone, no, it looks fine. It looks fine. It works. Although I don't know many phones which are that size now. And now we don't have to worry about the other blocks for these because they're just flowing off screen and they don't really. I like them kind of like touching the edge if they need to be when it gets too big. Okay, so the menu's still good. That is good. I think that is all the media queries we needed for this. Although that does still feel quite small, and I feel like the title is still too big. So let's again edit that. That title is too big. We'll go to what's it? The about heading. Sorry. So the about heading. Where is it? It's up here. I want to say equal to 38 pixels. 42. I think 42 will do. 42 is fine. And actually, I said I wasn't going to do a thing to bubbles, but now I've decided I'm going to kill the bubbles. I'm going to say and media screen and max width. 768 pixels. We're going to say display none. Oh, display inline. None, because I think it looks cleaner when it's just like that on the mobile, especially because we're going to have our social media. I've just got the best idea ever. Oh, that's so good. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys the idea right now, but you can't tell anyone, alright? In these bubbles, which are floating around, I'm going to have them slightly a bit more spread out now, and I'm going to have all my social media links in these, so like social media icons in these, where you can click on it and it will take you to my social media page, whichever one's in there. So let's say this one on Facebook, you click it, it'll take you to Facebook, little Twitter one, Instagram, I don't know, my Def2 link, I don't know, something else in there. My YouTube, oh my god, my YouTube link. Again, I'll add that to the to-do list and we will definitely do that. But for now, we have done what we set out to do. So we've got the colour changing navigation bar, which is now fixed to the left side. We could also do the same with this SVG, but we would need to inline the SVG so we can change the colour of it, which could get messy and I don't like doing that, but at the same time we could, and that means we could drag, and as we scrolled, that would scroll with us, and when that got into a different section, it would change colour to white or yellow, depending on which one we wanted. So yeah, so that is good. This is the last day, so when I upload this, which will be Saturday, which is today, in a few hours, I will be picking the name for the Discord server and also fully setting up the Discord server with some permissions, some basic permissions for now, and a few chat rooms, and we'll slowly grow from there. I'll pick some. I'm going to be looking out for moderators for it. I'm going to be looking out for some admins, some different roles, and then I'm going to add some some roles which you guys can gain from being more loyal to that server. So more active you are, I'm going to get some bots in there to do this for us. But for start, again, it might not be in there straight away, but the actual roles will be in there, but the auto leveling up stuff won't be in there yet, but we'll get that. There'll be self-promotion places, all that sort of thing in the Discord. If you've got any names for the Discord, remember it's for content creators, it's for designers, it's for developers, it's for anyone who does anything creative in their life. And you want help, you want to help out with people, you want to get involved in the community, you want to learn stuff with us, you have questions to ask, jump in, get involved, and that is how it's going to be. But for now, guys, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, then like this video. If you want to see more or learn more with us, then hit that subscribe button. And I hope you don't have any bad feedback, but if you do, leave it in the comments and I'll make sure I improve next time. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.